Johnny, in the last video, Jacob showed you how to build the generic E2X. In this video, we're going to build the Dragonite, which is a beginner level rocket. So let's jump into that and I'll show you how to do that now. We're going to go through the process of building this Dragonite Estes rocket. All the parts really just snap together. We'll start with what is the engine tube. This is what's going to house the engine inside the rocket. So these are all the standard size. It slides in there, and when this is in the motor or in the rocket itself, then we want to make sure that this is spaced out. So these little rings that come with it are the first things. They'll hold it away from the body of the rocket motor first. So the first step is to put these two rings. One of them fits on the inside, one of them fits on the outside. Now we take this housing. There's two pieces like this. This one has parts that stick out. This is the part that snaps into the parts that stick out. Okay, so for the part that slides inside versus the part that slides outside, there's a little orientation tab here, and that lines up with a little groove in the bottom of this. We put that in that groove. Okay, there we go. That one's in there. This side mounts over here. So now this is seated like that, and on the back side it's seated like that, and they're seated in the grooves here. There's three fins. Two of them have angled tabs like that. This one goes right in here. And the way they show it in the pictures is the little part that has the more of a rectangular shape at the end will seat there, going up, and we put that on this tab, and then this little part mates on the other side, and that part appears to be symmetric. So we put that there, we put that there. Now we can put the mating part over the top of it and snap it together. Once we've got it together like this, now we've got two rings to put on. These rings, this one slides over and all the way down. I'll put the back one on first because the wider of the two has a little orientation tab on it, and that has a place on the back side of the motor housing here, and that needs to go into that. So we slide that up and into that, so that that's on there now. So that's holding these two together. On the other side, we just slide this on and slide it all the way down, making sure that it's still aligned. It's got to come past a couple of little retention fingers on both sides. And we've got that past there, and we slide that down. The other fins that we put in here, they need to be at 120 degrees apart each. And they're molded in. There's an A molded into this piece and an A molded right there. And that one will slide into that, and that will make sure that it's in the right orientation. There we go. Put the B with the B just like the A was with the A, and snap that one in. And it goes at a little bit of an angle. So when that's done, you've got three fins at 120 degrees apart. All right, the next step is to take the shock cord, which is the long rubber band. We're going to tie a knot in one end and leave just a little bit through, hanging out the back, about like that. We take the other end and we trim it so that it's at an angle, and that's just to help feed it through the hole in the tube. Now if we take the body tube, there's a slot down at the bottom that's really close to the end. This is actually the top up here, and there's two little slots here. You want to feed it through the skinny little one, push it through. We pull it through this one until the knot stops it. At this point, we're actually going to just dump it right back through the bottom because we're going to get it out of the way. Put the nose cone on, and then this little ring has an orientation feature. So this little indentation or molding in the ring in the circumference is going to come down and go over, right over the knot we tied. And when you put it over that knot, there's a little retention finger that snaps into that other hole. So once you've done that, you can take the nose cone back out, and you've got it in here. Now this will actually feed back through to the top. Now we're going to use these two holes that are pre-punched in the tube down here, and we've got to align this so that this ring here is aligned with this one here. So make sure you line up the hole in this ring with the hole here, and then push it down over the 2 retention tabs and then twist it until they snap in like that. And so now they're holding it there. These little parts get snapped into the remaining slots. There's that one. It works best if you just put the tip in one and then work your way down, but make sure it's aligned as it goes in. The next step is to take the nose cone, and we're going to cut out this molded in piece here. That needs to come out. So with my pocket knife, I'm going to carefully cut around the edges. Now once we've got that, we can tie this on. So that's there, and then the parachute, keep those loops, thread them through that same hole, and we'll just put the parachute back through those loops and then pull it snug. What a rocket motor does is it has a certain amount of fire time, and then it pauses, and then it has a little explosive charge that pops the top out and launches the parachute out so that it can float back down and that you can reuse it. We're going to assemble the wadding, which is like tissue paper, but this is non-flammable. So this is the insulation between the rocket motor and when it explodes and your plastic parachute. This says to put about 6 to 7 squares, and you want to wad it up and push that in below where the shock cord mates with it. I'm going to put the shock cord in. Now I've got to fold the parachute. Tuck this in. So now the rocket's built. All right, now we're going to put the decals on. This long one, the positioning of this is such that you want to cover the seam between the body tube and the engine mounting tube so that it will help hold it together. So it serves a functional purpose as well. So now I've got the decal going over the seam. That will help hold it together, the body tube with the engine mount, and then this runs up the side of the rocket motor body. The other ones, I think, are just for decoration. And now we've got those on. So the last thing we need to do is to put the rocket engine in. You've got to make sure you put it with the part that has the hole in it on the bottom side out. And this last piece fits in with the 2 tabs into the slots, and then you turn it so that it won't let go. And then finally we're going to put the igniter in. I'm going to put the electronic igniter in there, and then I'll take the little plug and just push that in there to hold it in position so it won't fall out. And now with that, we're ready to take it to the field. Johnny, now you know how to build the Dragonite. This is a beginner level, no glue involved, you just have to snap things together. But if you haven't built a model rocket and you want to do one, this is a good one you can try. Check the description for a link to where you can get it. And the next thing with building rockets is launching them off. That's the fun part. I hope you're enjoying these videos. If you haven't had the chance to go launch model rockets with your dad, then you can do that in the next video. Jacob and I are going to go out and launch these 2 rockets that we put together. And it's a lot of fun. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you do. Click the like if you like this one, and let's go to the next video where you can see how we launch the rockets. Guess what? Dumb kitty. Oh, I think I'm good. Oh, I gotta get the shock cord in. And you basically use that to hold it in position